Hello, welcome back to Story Reckless. I am Nathan. I am the DM here. I use he, him pronouns, and tonight we are doing the epilogue of our Descent into Avernus campaign. So if for some reason this is the first time you're joining us, it's a very odd time to be joining, but hey, stick around. It could be fun. Let's do some other intros before we do a quick little recap.
I'm Claire. My pronouns are they, them. For the last time, I'm playing Kadom, half-elf grave cleric.
Oh, it's the last time. That's what finale means. I'm Olive. I use she, they pronouns, and I realize that this is also the last time I'm playing Calliope. Or Genasi, it doesn't really matter.
But you put so much work into it.
Beloved friend, devoted artificer.
Is this her eulogy?
Apparently. Is that what we're doing today?
No, it's a... That would be a cool way to start, though, like cold open eulogy for Calliope.
The rain falls. Figures are in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Open grave. Sorry.
Oh my god. Pan to Gideon's tombstone where he's doing like blue steel. I'm Enyo, they, them, and I guess for the last time too, I will be playing Pip, Alchemist Satyr / Satyr?
Yes, indeed. All right, yeah. So, I guess quickly before recap, next week is a little bit up in the air at the moment. I realized I forgot to talk with everybody before we started. We will either be doing our postmortem next week, or we might be taking a break next week because Claire will be traveling. But anyways, we'll update on socials and whatnot, and we'll figure it out offline. Okay, so with that, let's do a brief recap, and then we're gonna go into this epilogue episode, which will probably not have any dice rolling. It's going to be very narrative driven and just hearing what the characters do after this event, this campaign. So let's get into it. So last we left off, our finale, you all saved Elturel. Calliope confronted her mentor, Glim, who was coming to, in service of Bel and Zariel, to take all of the survivors back to Zariel, and Calliope managed to stop him. You then traveled with the celestial being that you saved from the companion, going underneath the city, where it began to lift the city out of Avernus when you were confronted by Zariel. Calliope managed to throw a resilient sphere around the celestial, took some pretty heavy hits, but got away just in time. And as Zariel was getting ready to cut you all down with ease, Kadam convinced her to stop. You convinced her so well that she saw the error of her ways, and she at least saw what she was doing there to be wrong, and the things that she had been doing to be wrong. And she broke her contracts. And as the light consumed you all and you were about to be brought to the material plane, you saw... What? Yeah, insincere groveling, yeah. It's true. Pip did attempt to deceive Zariel in that final moment. But as you were being lifted into the material plane in the light, you all saw Asmodeus appear behind Zariel, looking very disappointed, and dragged her down to somewhere. the last thing she said was to Lulu, "I will try to find you." And you were all gone. The light filling the space around you, and we watched as the city disappeared into the acrid clouds above in golden light. So, that's just fine, Zapnude. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I mean, all our stuff is online to watch.
Yep.
So if you want to see it, give it a watch. It was pretty wild.
It was really. It was in many ways the perfect D&D session.
That's how I've been describing it. I'm like, we played a perfect game of D&D.
Yeah, we did.
Really nailed it.
You guys did great. Yeah, it was good. It was I really enjoyed it. It was very emotional. So yeah, if you get a chance to give it a watch, please do.
It has everything. I
have.
feel like we're the Planeteers. With Olive's mechanical mind, and
Yeah.
Claire's emotional resonance, and Pip's dipshittery.
You saved the world. Yeah. Yeah, it truly, in those final moments, you get to see, I feel like, every character's personality like crystallized in a single moment. So it's really good. But with that in mind, let's jump into this. So, yeah, I think the first thing we see is, oh wow, actually, let me check something. Oh yeah, okay. The first thing we see is a wide shot of the river Kyanthar winding through a snow-dusted valley. There is an immense dark shape looming on the banks of the river that is revealed to be a desolate crater that is just sunken into the earth. There seem to be a few shapes moving down in the snow around the edges of the crater, small encampments, when suddenly a tear in space at the bottom of the crater rips open as golden light spills through. Shapes like ants begin to flee from the area, and we watch as the city of El Terrell, still in ruins, smoke sort of channeling off of it as it rises up from the crater, light spilling out all from underneath it, and then it slowly seems to settle in place in the crater itself, light still shimmering around the cracks and the edges, and it seems to start to stitch together carefully, resetting itself. There is a single burst of light in the center of the city as this process is happening, and we quickly cut down to the central park area of El Terrell as the light fades, and we see all of you standing there in the desolate park, gentle snow falling around you, and this celestial being heaving with great effort, hovering there beside you as the golden light stitches the city's landscape back together. None of the buildings, just the landscape itself. All the buildings are still in their ruined state. There's still some gentle fires burning in the city. There's still pools of lava that are clinging to parts of the streets. And you can still hear the cacophonous sound of demons and devils fighting it out, scrambling to get out of this place. This celestial looks to you all, and you get the sense that it is unfortunately time to begin rebuilding. They are going to take off and start the process of swooping around in an attempt to contain what they can. But now we will truly go into this narrative space as time can really start to be flexible here. We don't have to go moment by moment. So why don't we just start with the first day as you all arrive here back on the material plane in the dead of winter. Not quite the dead of winter, the winter's coming to a close, but it is cold, it is winter time, and you are here in El Terrell. What does this first day look like? Why don't we start with Calliope since it's your home?
Yeah. I think somehow somebody has sourced what's a tradition Elturellian food? Like I'm thinking of like some sort of like big like spaghetti pot or like a pasta dish, just like industrial style.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably some sort of like fish dish because of the presence of the river, or like a shellfish or something, like a crab pot or something, you know, something along those lines.
I think we've sourced like a good like a hard like maybe like there's a big like accumulation of them at the edge of where the city like used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Calliope and the survivors have a big picnic in the central park. Just like as survivors can like filter out, I don't know how many other survivors there'd be in the city besides the ones who are underground.
There's actually quite a few because of the efforts of the Zentarum. They had their underground bastions sprinkled throughout the city that managed to maintain, like, you know, probably on the bigger end, probably like in the low hundreds, but most of them are probably like in the 50 range of people, but all kind of sprinkled throughout the city. So yeah, I think as word starts to spread through the city that we're back and this celestial is kind of mopping up any devils or demons that are left. I
think it is like just a hot pot. It's just like El Terrell, like nobles, commoners, everybody who survived are now all equals in this moment. And there's just huge cauldrons of these like hot pots, seafood boils of like whatever food people can find goes in the pot.
I mean, it is a true burst of joy and relief.
Things taste again.
Things taste good. They taste like food again. Truly a like surge of just joy and relief in this moment. And as you are gathering everybody up and getting this going, it goes into the night of celebration.
I think Calliope especially latches herself on and almost like hides behind Petra. Like Calliope is just like exhausted and for once, I think somewhat at a loss for words. Like people probably come up and like thank her.
I mean, I honestly, you, Kadam, and Pip were the ones seen with this being. And I think it becomes very quickly apparent, whether you claim responsibility or not, it becomes apparent that you were very much involved in this process. So you all are constantly being approached by people who are thanking you.
Yeah, and I think Calliope just doesn't know what to say, like the words catch in her throat. And she just wants to be with Petra.
I think Petra is quick to read this, and they find a way to kind of shelter you, as you clearly don't want this at the moment. I think they managed to sneak you away into a relatively stable building nearby with a couple of bowls of this stew to just have a moment with you away from the crowds.
I think Calliope just like latches onto them in a hug and like doesn't let go for a long time.
Yeah.
It's probably Calliope's scene for the first day.
Yeah. Does anybody else do anything in this first day?
is luxuriating in taste and sensation again. I think Pip is just like feasting, eating well, regaling people with stories, maybe finding if somebody can like paint her claws. If she can get a manicure right now, she will.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is achievable. I think people are craving things like that, where it feels like, oh, we're actually safe enough to take the time to do that. Like, we don't need to just be in full survivor mode, at all hours, at every minute. So you can definitely find folks that are more than willing and happy to participate in that with you.
Yeah, I think Pip is kind of like the feast master at the.
So you're kind of doing the opposite of Calliope, where you hold court while Calliope runs away to go be with Petra. You are there to like be that face.
Yeah. Oh, Calliope, you're sure you don't? Okay, you're gonna do your own thing. I guess it's my responsibility. And like fully has just swapped out and is so happy. Like all of her old spells, and now is like create food and drink. Have an alchemist jug. Don't mind if I do.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Mayo for all.
Oh my god! Amazing.
Here's a question: do we remember to go get Glenn?
I don't know. That's like, I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
What is Glim's fate?
We turned him inward toward the survivors. Did they do anything with him?
I mean, yeah, like Rhea and older Raywingard would have essentially arrested him. He's being held somewhere. And yeah, I'm not sure what his fate will be. I think that's something that we can decide together. But yeah, he, I think, was just essentially subdued to be not a threat and is being held somewhere.
Does he get hot pot?
Does he get hot pot? I mean, I don't know if it would occur to anybody to bring him hot pot. So
Yeah, I think he might escape in the night.
I'm, if you think so, I'm
I think
happy for
he
that.
might.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think
With some
he's
invisible imp that's still around and like
Sure.
loyal to him.
Yeah, I mean, I
unlocks
think
him.
he's probably put in some kind of what's left of any kind of holding cell within High Hall, but the structural integrity of everything is so poor that yeah, he's able to, with the help of an imp that's in the city, to escape in the night, and the next morning Glim is missing. Perfect. Love it. Kadam, what about you? Do you have anything significant on this first day you would like to highlight?
I do find Calliope at some point and ask for a small piece of copper wire.
Pulls it out, hands it to you.
And I will just wrap that around my fingers and rub it. It becomes my worry stone. I eat maybe half a bowl of soup, and it is too much. It is overwhelming in its sensation and its taste and its smell. And then I find some quiet place where I can curl up and I sleep for 16 hours.
Yeah. Okay. That makes complete sense. Okay. Yeah. I think we can move into the next kind of 10-day here of what happens in El Terrell. And again, I think let's focus back on Calliope, since this is your home. What do you... Actually, before we do that, Kadam, I think when you awake the next day, Where do you imagine you found somewhere to rest? Just to set the scene a little bit.
Not High Hall.
Yeah.
Maybe that Zentorum place.
The
What
tavern.
was that? The
Okay.
the
Black Antler
Antlers
Tavern. Yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when you wake up the next morning in that tavern, having found an unoccupied room, you see sort of, you know, they're taking up like an entire corner of the room, but that celestial being is just gently sort of floating there cross-legged, quietly in meditation, and as you awake you see the eyes flick open to address you. You receive this overwhelming sense of gratitude coming from the being. And then you get the sense that they're not going to be here for much longer, and that they're going to continue to do their best to help the people here, but they will need to, they won't be able to stay here for much longer. I don't know.
You deserve rest too.
They sort of uncross their legs to gently alight on the floor, kind of stride up to you, and then kneel down to be eye level with you. And you get a sense of a question, a request of, may they embrace you. And I think with any hesitation, they will just give a nod of acknowledgement, give another sense of thank you, and then prepare to leave the room.
Do you know why? Do you know was I sent down here to find you? Or was it something more complex than that? Was it yonder? Was it everything? Was it just to move things along? I know you might not know. I know I can ask directly, but that's really what's weighing on me. Why did I go down there?
Sehanine saw many roads for transition down there, moments of great, significant transition, and they believed in you to be able to help guide those moments. And you did. Whether it was right or wrong doesn't matter. You guided it in a direction, one that Sehanine believed in, and one that they had faith in you. and the being leaves the room. And as we... Oh, do you have one more thing?
Thank you.
As we transition away from that, we're going to accelerate again in time here and see what happens in the next few days to 10-day with Elturel. Calliope.
Well, I think what Calliope does in this time period somewhat depends on if Dom is sticking around or heading back to Baldur's Gate.
Okay, yeah. Then, yeah, you both can discuss that out.
So, you got business out there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I do.
Maybe less pressing without Phantom Perk kicking around. As badly, at least, but I know she's still out there.
She's still Duke. I would like to get home before Ravengard.
I mean, you got some wings up on him, I guess.
Yeah, I do.
There is word going around that Ravengard is preparing to leave early today, as soon as possible. Gathering supplies, horse.
Would you, would Kadam and Calliope have this conversation, like, deliberately away from Pip?
No.
Okay.
Valor and Yonder can be there too, and Lulu.
Valor
Lulu's up here.
Valor is definitely staying close and basically we'll communicate that Valor will be she wants to travel with you, Kadam, at least for the foreseeable future. Lulu actually as well would like to travel with you and help you resolve things in Baldur's Gate. And then beyond that, honestly, we don't have to get into it right now. But she wants to travel with you to Baldur's Gate and help.
All right.
Yonder's going to stay in Elturel and help Elturel rebuild.
And I think Calliope's like, they do sorely need my help here, but you've given me a debt, and Elturel a debt. I can't repay. I don't know, totally understand why.
Calliope,
Yes.
I did what was right, and I also did what I was asked to do.
And if you ask me to come help you, I will.
Calliope, I am very grateful for everything you have done.
Mm-hmm.
Stay home. Be with your people. Play dragon chess in the park with Petra.
Yeah, I would like that very much. You should take Winged Dummy. Okay. No. Wasn't my idea. It asked.
You see Winged Dummy sort of cock its head towards you, Kadam.
It like nudges me again. We figured out the companion was made of souls, and old Winged Dummy here, Clank, seems to have found a little bit of free will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's doing stuff I didn't know it could do, and there's not a lot of. I don't know. I think you might need its help. This is alone, though.
All right.
This is alone. I expect. This.
Well, Calliope, if
Yeah.
Winged Dummy is their own person, you do not own them. And if they wish to come back to you, I imagine they will. And if they do not, they will stay with me, or perhaps go somewhere else. Have you ever been? Do you have any interest in like traveling? I turned to Winged Dummy.
And I think Winged Dummy just flares out, and just it's stretching, and kind of bumps into a wall or something, with how much space it can take up, and just gives a little shimmy.
All right.
Maybe you're really just going to you don't want to come with? I mean, there's a lot of work to do here, but there are also a lot of hands here. You can just come and be with your child.
They don't know what they're doing here. I will say, they are very tired. They're resource poor. Sanitation is going to be an issue momentarily.
You need to listen to all of the sanitation and medical workers that are here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get involved. But you really do need to work on cleanliness first and foremost. That's going to keep everyone else who is here alive.
Yeah, my nose is telling me that already.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not going to get involved.
Okay. Best of luck then. Y'all should get heading out. You too. Turning towards Winged. I want to see you again though. If you're in the area, just say okay.
Winged Dummy sort of folds up the wings, kind of stretches looking up at you, Calliope, and then walks over and just kind of presses the rounded sphere-like head into you. And then sort of presses harder, and then releases, and then sort of chicken walks over towards Kadam.
I'm gonna have to start walking places myself.
You can hop. You got one good leg.
Yeah. Heck yeah, I do. And hey, if I get lonely, I can just talk to Big B up here.
You're gonna go.
The Dragon God?
Kadam?
Oh. Sorry. Say that again, Pip.
Oh. You're going to depose Phantomper. That's the point, right?
No, actually, that ain't the point. I want to go home. I want to see what's there. I want to see who I am. Phantomper cannot be trusted with power. But there are ways that could end that aren't death or arrest.
So then, yes, you're deposing her, just making sure she's not in power.
I don't know if it's right for it to be me. I don't know, Pip. I don't know.
It sounds like a journey that you clearly need to take, and that I'm sure I will see you in Baldur's Gate soon, but you've had your martyr cases. I see you've cleaned your hands of me. We have worked well together, despite everything.
Pip, I think we have been quite a good team. I think that we have balanced each other out to a certain extent.
You are a better person than I can stand to be around Kadam.
Thank you.
Calliope cackles at that.
Yeah, Valor's definitely laughing.
I will take that as the compliment I believe you intended it to be.
Val, oh, go ahead.
I do have something for you, Pip, before you end up in Baldur's Gate again. I'm going to give her Zoriel's holy symbol and Bane's holy symbol, as well as the vial of imp poison,
Ooh.
half of my tobacco, and half my hard candy.
Did you buy more? Because Pip ate all of the hard candy.
I hand her a single piece of waxed paper that held the last piece of hard candy.
Amazing.
Can we hug?
Valor. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can we? You can say no.
Say no to what?
To a hug?
I will hug you, Pip.
I gotta keep my claws out.
And I will give you a good hug.
Good, at least one of us can still do that.
You can put your arms around me.
I'm scared. I don't know what to do with them, and I know that the little slashes hurt. And Valor too.
Yeah.
And everybody.
Valor, if you go to hug Valor, Valor pulls you in tight, and she says, "You can just hug me. I'm wearing armor. Just go for it."
Can I give you a kiss?
Of course. And she'll lean down and kind of grab you behind the neck, and then pull you in and give you a kiss. And then
So we meet again, Valor.
yeah, it's always really fun being with you, but I have to be careful around you.
I do seem to sort of be full of bad luck and bad decisions. It's true.
I mean, you're the only person I can say that has gotten me killed, but I can't say that about many others. So
I'm so proud to be your first.
you really should be. It's quite an experience. Maybe not a good one, but it was an experience. All right, Pip. Gonna miss you.
Miss you too. See you around the bend.
What? No kiss for me?
I didn't know that.
Sorry, that was directed to Pip.
Oh, to Pip. Okay.
You had an
I'm
out. No
staying
kiss for
with
me?
you. I'm staying with you. I have been working on this purification potion for ages. I have been getting on Duke Vanthemper's case about their terrible latrine.
You
Their
don't have
cistern
to
is
stay around
filthy.
just to avoid kissing me. That's fine.
I'll kiss you if you want. Still has some valor on it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And just like a little peck. And I think Calliope does a little shocking grasp. It's like, yell sparks.
Amazing. So, is Kadam, are you leaving today then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you gather up your supplies,
As I put my shoes back on.
yeah, actually, and Lulu will drift over to the two of you, Calliope and Pip, looking you both over, and Yonder, because Yonder's going to stay behind as well. Well, thank you guys. I know I kind of dragged you into quite a lot of shit. So, thanks. Really, thank you. I'm really happy to see the Elturals back. It was so nice seeing everybody be happy again last night.
We would have made it halfway across Avernus without you, Lulu.
Yeah, probably.
None of this would have worked without you, Lulu. You helped Kadam get through to Zariel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for
A
that.
couple times.
Well, if I don't ever see you again, I'm gonna miss you all. And thank you so much. And she'll zoom in and sort of slam into you with a hug. Calliope like wraps her trunk around you.
And just like spin, I
Yeah.
think.
You feel her
Float off
her-
the ground a little bit.
feel her
Just-
soft feathers. Yeah, the two of you
I
floating.
think we go like spinning off like somebody with like a hug in like 0G or something.
Pip is immediately jealous and is like, wait, uppies.
She lets go the embrace and then zooms in and slams into you, Pip, giving you a hug, and then actually pulls back, looks to Yonder. Yonder, I'm gonna help Kadam. But when we're done, I do plan to go back. You don't have to come, but I just wanted to let you know. Yonder is looking down at the ground and then looks up at her. I need to stay here. I'm coming to terms with what I did, but I don't think that going back is the right answer. I wish you luck, though. And she will give him a hug. And after letting go, we'll return back to Kadam and Valor. All right. I'm ready.
Last thing before we go, I would like to take a walk with Yonder.
Okay.
Yonder, I owe you an apology. I feel that I have been pushing you in ways that you may or may not want, in ways that I think you should go. And I have not let you choose for yourself. I have not been letting you choose for yourself.
Is this about the moment when I tried to stop all those demons?
Yes. And later.
Kadam, no, thank you for doing that. In that moment specifically, I was having a hard time seeing any other way, and I think there was part of me that just wanted it all to end, and that was an easy out. But you showed me a different path, and one that wasn't easy, but was ultimately worth it. I'm always going to remember that. I'm always going to think about that. Sometimes the best thing for us isn't the easy path. In most cases, actually. I just had to, almost be devoured by demons in order to see that, but
takes a different thing for everyone.
yeah, well. Thank you, though. I appreciate what you're telling me, but I also am thankful to you for what you did.
I'm relieved. I have a couple of offers for you as well. One is, if at any point you would like to officially dedicate yourself to Sehanim, I can do that for you. And that offer stands for the rest of my life. You do not need to make a decision right now. The other is, I don't know that I'll be leaving Baldur's Gate for a while, but if you ever want to visit, I would be most happy to see you again. I don't know what my relationship to the guild will be. I don't know if... Did you ever learn her name? Box of Screws. Regardless, I don't know what our relationship will be, but I dearly hope she will be around.
Yeah, I may take you up on that. But first I need some time here.
That makes sense.
It's also going to prove to be very challenging with my condition. I realize all of this has been taking place like inside somewhere.
Inside, yes. Yeah. Oh, what's the moon doing?
I don't know at this moment.
All right.
But he just places a gentle hand on your shoulder. Very gentle squeeze. Best of luck. I hope we see each other soon.
I hope so too.
And yeah, he'll head off. As you set out to head to Baldur's Gate, Kadam, with Lulu and Valor and Winged Dummy in tow, I guess you can all travel actually at a pretty significant speed because you can all fly, with Valor getting into Winged Dummy, assuming Winged Dummy's big enough to support Valor.
Winged Dummy can fly for 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes a day. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
No. I might rig up boots of levitation instead, at least, and so like it can at least be pulled around.
Okay. Yeah. So it can be towed essentially. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. But yeah, you will be able to travel, I think, faster than a riding horse because you won't have to deal with the land. So if you do wish to try to beat Ravengard to Baldur's Gate, that will be possible.
All right.
Okay. You head out. Maybe let's try to only spend like 10 minutes here, but real quick, Calliope, is there any major beats you want to hit with Elturel as Kadam and company leave and you and Pip are here in the city with everyone else? I will set up a couple things of note. Really only one actually, is that obviously you and Pip are kind of being looked to for guidance, as well as Rhea Mantlemorn, because she was there at the defense of all of those refugees, and it kind of was chosen by the sword of the unknown hero. That's really symbolically significant to the population of Elturel. And then I forgot to write her name down, but there's also the priest that was helping. Faria, yeah.
The one that broke the curse on Petra.
Yes. So Faria. So basically the people that the majority of the population are looking to are you, Pip, Rhea, and Faria. There's really not any higher up officials that survived. The one thing you kind of have to contend with is the Zentarum, because they do have members that are up and running. Carter being the one that's kind of become the de facto leader at this point, because he seems to be one of the highest ranking that survived, and they are obviously trying to take advantage of the situation. So and there are some devils and demon pockets that are still kind of a threat around Eltugard, like the country of Eltugard in general. So
Does Calliope try to bend Elturel into a city in her image?
I don't know. This is a question for you, and you kind of have control of this, so yeah.
Yeah. I think it's no longer Holy City. I think the Hell Riders. Calliope probably wants to like end the Hell Riders since that was like such a complicated thing. But we did just ride through Hell,
Mm-hmm.
so I think like the term sticks around despite her best efforts. God. I think Pip, if you stay around, Calliope might be like, "Oh yeah, you know like legal stuff and stuff. Why don't you set up a new city government?"
Yes, my liege, yes.
Oh no.
And so, like, what does Elturel shaped by Pip and Calliope look like? Is it like a commune? Is it like anarchy? Is it Feywild? Is it?
I think Pip immediately like gets into bed with the Centaur. Maybe literally. I don't know. Is Carter cute?
Did you meet Carter?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Or at
Mid-40s,
least, yeah.
human
Yeah.
man. Impressive calves, I remember.
yeah, and charming.
Okay, that'll work. Or
Yeah.
at least we have a good working relationship.
Okay.
I think that. Oh God, what would it? Enyo desperately wants to say commune, but Pip says it's run by crime families.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no!
No,
I think Calliope is just like, let's talk about this. Like, how can we like topple this like centralized thing where like a head priest can just like make deals with the whole thing? I don't like that centralized stuff.
No, that's terrible. No. You definitely have to have warring city states at least.
Warring city states. Okay. So maybe is it like a city of guilds? Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, like
okay, guilds.
craftsmen and
That's what I
Yeah.
said. Crime families.
Great.
Maybe initially it starts out in a more optimistic way, but you know, it could.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so
Yeah,
is
I think
Elturel start to
Somewhere between there. Yeah.
But I think Calliope puts a lot of work into like having the most walkable city
Yes.
in Faerun, and just
Okay.
like I think puts it all into like public works and like hospitals.
Okay.
And it's a socialist city state if Calliope has her way, but also, you know, corrupt families and
Yeah.
Unions
It
that
has some
probably have gotten
social
too
ills.
large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
yeah.
that's that. Do we want to have like some final shots of like the rest of Calliope's life, or is that zooming too far ahead?
We could, yeah. I mean, how far ahead do you want to go with Calliope's life? Like, how many years in the future do we see? Like, are we cutting away to like 10 years later when the city's completely rebuilt? And
I think so. I think the camera's not going to be coming back to Elturel here. So Calliope has put in a ton of work into the city, and it's running like a machine.
Mhm.
But I think a series of like colossal just like large disasters and failures have happened that like shouldn't have happened, ended up being sabotaged, and Calliope has this cat and mouse game, Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty, with Glim.
Oh. Okay.
And I think she ends up fighting with Glim hand to hand over like one of the waterfalls of Elturel.
Cool.
And he's like gotten like a displacer, or not displacer, a like beholder eye, like some anti-magic field. And the last scene that we get of Calliope is her and Glim locked in combat, just falling over the side of a waterfall, and neither of them are ever seen again.
Awesome.
That's Calliope's story.
Entwined with Glim to the last.
Yeah.
Did Winged Dummy ever come back?
Well, let's see how things go in Baldur's Gate.
That's true, yeah. All right, excellent. So that is Calliope's
Epilogue.
epilogue. Pip, what about you? Do you stay in Elturel for like up until that moment, or do you eventually leave, or what are we thinking for Pip?
I think after Calliope is like, Pip, go work out a government, and sees what Pip starts doing. It's they kind of have a like, okay, hold on, maybe I can take it from here. Pip is like, yeah, okay, good, I got it greased for you. And
Made lots of contacts.
yeah, lots of contacts, and heads off to Baldur's Gate to see what's brewing there, and if
Okay.
there's if Vanthampur is still in office.
Okay, yeah, let's go find out, shall we? Because you were probably at least in Elturel for a 10-day before Calliope kicked you out.
Oh,
No, way longer than that. Way
yeah,
longer than
it's
that.
probably longer than that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kazam, you travel ahead of Ravengard and are definitely able to keep pace ahead of Ravengard to get to Baldur's Gate first. Traveling down the Kianthar River, seeing the patches of dusted snow across the landscape, and slowly but surely starting to see I think the first landmark that you see as you approach Baldur's Gate is Hawks Hill, rising up there from the river.
I would like to enter on foot through the main gate. Like, I would like to.
Through the Stony Eyes Basilisk Gate.
No, I want to cross Worm's Crossing on foot.
So you want to cross back over the river and go land in Rivington and
Yep.
walk across. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So the three of you cut over. Do you plan on doing this like are you gonna try to time it for a certain time of day, or just do it as soon as you arrive?
I'm gonna take a page out of Ravengard's book and put on a little bit of a show.
Okay.
I'm gonna come at like 10 a.m.
Okay. So in the morning.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, wearing just the clothing that I was taken by Zariel in. No armor, no weapons. A bag slung over my shoulder and my wings tucked in behind, trailing on the ground.
Okay, so they will be visible. I mean, it's be very difficult to hide them, but yeah, okay. Well, as you land on the other side of the river and begin to walk through town, you have a moment where Valor kind of looks down at you. You know, this kind of reminds me of when we first came here with Lovelace.
Do you want to stop by Baldur's Crepes?
Yeah, I mean, if it's there, yes.
But-
The first thing that you notice as you approach Worm's Crossing is the significantly higher presence of Flaming Fist and the lack of foot traffic. There is usually like a line waiting to get through Worm's Crossing. There's like a trickle of wagons and merchants going through, and so many Flaming Fists just on watch. You are immediately noticed, but not stopped necessarily. As you get maybe halfway across, like before you hit the Worm's Rock, the like first checkpoint, you realize that there are like 4 Flaming Fists that have trailed in behind the 3 of you and are just keeping pace, keeping an eye on all of you. Getting to Worm's Rock, you go through the inspection, immediately are asked what your business is, who you are, all those questions. Do you answer truthfully? Like how
I do. My name is Kadam of Baldur's Gate, and I'm coming home.
Okay. The Flaming Fist immediately go to arrest you and your companions.
That is not something I'm interested in doing right now.
Great. How do you? Again, we're not going to roll dice here. How does Kadam stop this from happening?
Would it be possible for me to just decline an arrest? Just through like force of personality and calm? Was I present at these people's births?
You could be. Sure. You want to recognize a few of them? Yeah. you can,
Yeah.
I'll say that you recognize the captain that's leading this.
I will tell this captain that what I remember of their birth. And if they wish to tell Duke Vanthampur that I'm here, I'm just fine with that. But that I have business here in my home, and I would like to take care of that.
The captain stops the guards from arresting you. There is this kind of almost fear and guilt that is washing across this man's face as he looks upon you, and he's having a hard time looking at you and allows you to pass through. The guards start to follow, and he just holds a hand up, shaking his head, and immediately darts inside of Worm's Rock. You continue across. The Crate Place, you see that building is boarded up, no longer in business. You continue to go through town, through Twin Songs. You get into Sow's Foot, where most of the Elturellian refugees were, and you can see that there is a fortified wooden structure with guards in place where you know that typically refugees would stay, and it seems to have been completely contained and monitored now by Flaming Fist. Continuing through Sow's Feet with Hawk's Hill rising up on your left, you can see a couple of shapes of hawks gently flying around the peak. Do you stop before you're continuing through?
That's what I'm wondering. Do I go? No, I'm gonna continue to Whitkeep Hostel and the bakery.
As you approach Whitkeep Hostel, you see a skeleton of a building, blackened and charred. That is all that remains of Whitkeep Hostel.
I ask around for Virgil and the bakery.
You asking around, people are scared. They're scared to talk to you, but you manage to be able to talk to some people that are willing to stop and talk. You find out that it sounds like maybe 3 days after Disa's death, there was an incredible uprising of people and unrest and resistance. And on that third day, Pernilla and Ardrin, the two folks that kind of led, or sort of almost as close as you could get to a leader of the hostel, they ended up doing an attack on Basilisk Gate. They blew the entire gate up with explosives in an attempt to allow folks free access in and out of the city. But after this, they were discovered, promptly executed, and all members of the hostel were arrested and put in prison in the Sea Tower of Baldurin.
All right.
And that was 6 months ago.
Oh.
You keep moving through the outer city.
I will go to my parents. I'm not going to bother going home.
Yeah. Traveling through. Oh man, yeah. What is going on there? Yeah. Going past Little Kalimsham, it still seems to be intact, but it's normally at this time of day the gates would be open to the public to be able to go through. It is completely shut, and there seems to be more like armed presence of people that live in that community on the walls, just keeping watch. Eventually you do make it into Stony Eyes and see your parents' place. When you go to knock, there is no answer. If you try to get inside, you eventually can. The place seems to be emptied out and nobody there. It is at this point that you are, maybe as you're leaving your parents' place, you catch a bit of movement in an alley and look over, and you can see a shock of purple hair and see Robin in the alley gesturing for you over.
I will follow.
As you get into the alley, they immediately start walking quickly and updating you on what has happened. They inform you that your parents are safe with Melissa. They were about to be brought to the Sea Tower of Baldurin very recently, within the past, let's see, it probably took you almost a 10-day to get down here. So yeah, probably like last 10 day. They were, box of screws was ordered. Like, I guess this information is disseminated through your parents and whatnot. It turns out that Cortea was ordered to take your parents to the Sea Tower of Baldurin, and she ended up handing them off to what is left of the crews, and Melissa has been keeping them safe and hidden. However, Box of Screws is currently in the Sea Tower of Baldurin, slated to be executed, but nothing has happened yet, so people don't know what's going on there. They take a moment and kind of stop as they realize they haven't even heard like what's been going on with you. They kind of look at you shocked, and then they look at you. So much has happened. We lost Pavu. Pavu's gone, but Melissa and List are still around. And there's a very small contingent of the crews left, but Vanthampur came down hard on all the crews. There's new laws in place that we can't even publicly gather. There's so much has been put in place to make the crew's functions difficult. But a few of us are still trying. We're doing small things, sabotage, getting people out of the city, hiding folks. And then they look at you.
Thank you.
Where have you been? Why did you leave?
Why did I leave? Why did I leave? Robin, I'm going to ask you to do something very hard. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I ask that you do not tell others. Not until I am ready.
Okay.
I have been in Elturel, and Elturel has been in hell. I have been working the past 6 months to bring Elturel back home. And it's back. And what people are alive are back as well. I left. There are so many answers to that, and all of them seem so insufficient. Because it was the right thing to do. Because a god asked me to. Because I was afraid that my sister would die if I didn't.
Well, you're here now. We need all the help we can get.
Yes. And I will give it in spades. Everything I have.
Alright, let's get you to your parents.
Yeah.
You're brought to Melissa's, which I don't actually remember where Melissa lived, if we ever established that.
I think in Brampton.
So in the lower city. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, you see Robin does take you in a secret entrance, but you do see the aftermath of Basilisk Gate. Basilisk Gate is gone. It is being rebuilt at the moment, but there is a temporary, albeit very well fortified, wooden wall around where Basilisk Gate used to be. And there is still a gate for people to get in and out, but it is heavily fortified. Robin, I think, takes you in through, tumble down through a secret entrance through the graveyard, and is able to get you in up by the hospital, and eventually takes you to Melissa's place, where you find your parents being housed in like a, as best as she can do, hidden basement space. And you see both your parents there, Biro and Jasper.
Dad.
They immediately stand up seeing you, tears sprouting from their eyes. Jasper
I throw myself at them.
Jasper, looking very weak, hobbles over and grabs onto you.
I'm back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
They just hold you tightly. Biro holding on to you, just gently saying, "You don't have to be sorry. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you're here right now."
Yeah.
Your sister's in trouble.
I'm gonna go get her. I'll get her out. I'm so glad. I'm so glad she did what she did. Robin's been telling me what's been going on. I'm so proud of her.
I am too. Jasper pulls back, looking at you, Kadam. You look different.
Yeah.
You're beautiful. Look at this. Where'd you get these?
Oh, Dad, I don't know if you believe me if I told you.
Well, I hope you do tell me.
I will.
But I expect you're quite busy right now.
No, This is where I'm supposed to be, Dad. Right here. Right now.
And yeah, you have this reunion with your parents, which you can take as much time as you want with them.
I will take a few hours.
Eventually, you're politely interrupted by Robin coming down with some tea. And Robin and Melissa kind of standing there at the top of the stairs of the basement. Robin looks to you and goes, Kadam, would it be all right if we talked for a bit?
Yeah.
I hate to rush things, but
The
it's...
sooner is better.
They take you upstairs. Melissa looks you over. What in the hell's...
Yeah.
What are you doing? Where have you... Okay. Robin won't tell me.
Good for you, Robin. Keep it up.
It's really hard with her, so can we just... Look. You clearly are different. In many ways. I mean, yes, physically, but... Look, Kadam, we can all feel it. There's something... Not to mention your companions, which, by the way, Valor and Lulu being with you.
Yeah, Lulu's real weird looking, ain't she?
We've been talking with them, and they respectfully haven't said much. So it's been... And Melissa goes, yeah, it's been weird small talk, okay? Trying to get what's going on, but they want to respect because what you said, so we're trying to figure this out.
Yeah, Melissa. Oh gods, how many people I'm gonna tell? We all have been in hell. Getting Elturel back to the... I know, it sounds... I know. Getting Elturel back to the surface.
And let's say for the sake of kind of ease, you tell the story and are able to convince them. At the end of this, they both are quiet, looking each other over, and then they look back to you. Robin goes, Kadam, I know this kind of goes against everything the cruise has been doing, but I mean, I feel like you could be our answer. You could... I don't know. You could do something. You could get rid of her. It's been horrible for the past 6 months.
Yes.
People have disappeared.
Yeah. I will go to her. I have some things to give her.
Melissa just kind of smacks her head. Kadam, kick her out of the city. I don't know, if you don't want to kill her, just throw her out of the city and tell her to never come back. Get rid of her.
I will do what I can with what I have. Melissa.
I'm sorry.
No, this is... I need to start in the way I aim to continue. Melissa, I absolutely could kill her. I could kill her.
Yeah.
And where would it stop? Should I kill Flame Zaj as well?
I don't know, Kadam.
I don't know either. I will go to her. And I will I promise you that I will do right as much as I can.
Okay. Do you need anything? We have some supplies. And again, we don't have to worry about mechanical
I don't
stuff.
think there's I don't think there's anything like I think I'm even gonna say no to armor. I think this is something that Kadam. Yeah,
Okay.
a pipe. I would dearly love a smoke.
That can be provided. At this point, it's later in the day. As you've had this discussion, reunited with your parents, it's probably getting close to sunset, to twilight.
And it's the perfect time.
So, Kadam, what happens next?
I'm going to cast locate person,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to pinpoint her exactly.
Vanthampur.
Vanthampur. Is she in the city right now?
She is moving and is in the upper city and seems to be very close to Baldur's Gate.
I will go to her. And if
Okay.
that means going through the undermarket, I will go through the undermarket. If I can just walk through Baldur's Gate, then I will do that.
Well, as you start moving through the city, you notice that people are starting to move in the directions of Baldur's Gate. People are starting to congregate over there, some being almost kind of forced by Flaming Fist. And you start to catch that there is something happening, that Vanthampur is making another proclamation. Do you go for, like, are you going to again try to stealthily get in, or like, are you gonna join the crowd? Or
If I can get on the other side of the wall,
again, this
yeah,
is
and
purely
enter.
narrative. We can
Yeah,
do so.
I'm gonna just hop over and
Mm-hmm.
do my best to find her on the other side of the wall
Okay. And
before she.
do you want Valor and Lulu accompanying you in this?
I would like them nearby.
Okay. They will.
And Winged Dummy.
And Winged
And
Dummy.
Winged Dummy.
I guess they will do their best to blend in with the crowd and
Winged Dummy.
and move towards where the congregation is happening. You can get on the other side of the wall and kind of, as you know, this is like the most stealthy Kadam has ever been, moving around. When you get, I'm assuming you're going to Baldur's Gate following that spell, you start to see kind of a familiar scene starting to lay out before you as you approach. You can see from the backside now as Vanthampur is striding up onto the wall, and there is a figure that is being held there at the center of the gate, and there are many armored flaming fists on the walls, and you can see her beginning to turn to address the crowd.
Before she's able to speak, I would like to alight on the wall next to her.
Yeah. Okay. So is this like as she's striding up to turn to face the crowd, or okay? So as she's about to turn to face the crowd, there is a gasp from the crowd below as a winged being alights down next to Vanthampur. She turns and sees you, and you see behind her, bound and gagged, is Cortea. The sun has just set at this point, but you can see that Cortea looks like badly sunburnt. And there is, I think if I remember with Disa, I think there's a noose around her neck, if I believe that's how Disa went. So there's a noose around Cortea's neck, which is probably for show, but but hey, the show is being set for the public here.
We're all putting on a show right now.
Yeah. Phantom turns and sees you. You see her there, her stern face, thick muscular arms, her black dress with high collar, and despite all of her power and grandeur and sternness, you, with your insight, Kadam, you see bags under her eyes, and you see fear suddenly flash in her face as she sees you there before her. She, immediately calls out for all of her guards to attack you. But yeah.
Why don't we take a walk?
Okay.
The three of us.
Okay. Okay. I think again, this is a purely despite her power, all of these people, Flaming Fist included, seeing this vision of you arriving there like that stuns them. And they don't know what to do, and everybody is hesitating. And she starts looking around, panicked, shouting orders. Kill them! What are you doing?
I will
shouting.
Take her, I will take her arm,
Mm-hmm.
and I will usher Cortea along.
Okay.
And I would like to just start walking the wall of the upper city with the two of them.
The Flaming Fist attempt to pull in front of you with their poleaxes, trying to stop you from moving forward.
This ain't the time right now.
And you just see them sort of in fear part and kind of melt as you say that. Phantom Purr looks distraught as you begin to pull and guide her along the wall. I think this is going to be the only dice roll we're going to do here, because she is going to attempt to escape this moment. I think that she has just enough power here that she can compel some of these soldiers to help her in this endeavor. So this is just going to be a single roll to see if she gets out or not. This could be her making a saving throw against a spell. This could be you making some kind of skill check. This could be whatever, right? But essentially what I'm setting up for you here is that some of her guards are going to aid her. There's going to be a bit of a melee that occurs as she attempts to flee, and we will see whether or not you were able to catch her or not.
Interesting. All right. I am going to cast Calm Emotions on everyone here.
Awesome. What's your DC right now?
18.
Amazing. Alright. Of course they didn't have her stat block running.
And that's a charisma save.
Okay.
Which I know She's proficient in.
I believe she is, yeah. Unless it's like one of those weird, like, clearly she's a warlock, but for some reason her stat block doesn't reflect that kind of thing, because that does happen. Oh my god, where is his stat block? Let me pull it up over here. You know, you try to be as prepared as possible. Okay.
But the players always make decisions.
They always make decisions. Okay. Yeah, so she only gets, she only gets a 13. So, you'll see I rolled a 10 on roll 20, but I am slightly modding her stat block, so 13 is definitely not going to be enough. Yeah, Kadam, walk us through what happens next. Because you clearly calm everyone down around you with this burst of energy.
Including myself.
Yeah.
I would like to give to her the things that I have which belong to her. That is, most insignificantly, a wooden coffer that belonged to Amric. Amric's head.
Oh my god.
And her contract.
And her contract. Okay. Okay.
I will be largely ignoring Cortea for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
What is her response to those first?
She begins to cry, holding Amric's head. And I think she starts to sob and drops to her knees and looks up at you.
I will crouch down next to her.
She begins to kind of grit her teeth and suck air through them as she looks at you. What do you want from me? Just get it over with. Kill me like you did my sons. Just end this now. I've lost everything.
Is that what you want from me?
Yes. End it.
I will cast Inflict Wounds at 7th level.
She is staring up at the twilight clouds above. We just see her face, tears streaming down her cheeks, no power left. And we just watch as from below she turns to dust as it wraps up around her neck like her high collar, and then eventually blows away.
Wherever you are, be at peace.
All of the flaming fist just go slack unsure of what to do. Cortea gently places her bound hands on your back.
Cortea.
She's looking at you, still gagged and bound.
Gently, tenderly, I will ungag her. I will unbind her.
Just
Cortea.
tears beginning to well up around the edges. It's good to see you.
It's good to be back.
Oh. Yeah. I'm glad you're home. And she will just pull you in for a hug. I think that could be a spot to end. As you hug your sister on top of the walls of Baldur's Gate, as all of the citizens of Baldur's Gate look on as the dust of Vanthampur just blows off in the wind. And there is a lot of work to be done here. Wish I could hug you.
That would be nice.
Wow. I think that might be the end for Descent into Avernus with these wonderful characters. I think maybe we could have a little brief moment of levity of a stinger here at the end with, if I may, Pip. If you do go back to the Feywild, you do find that your brother, Scamander, has made one too many deals and has now been tasked with building a maze out of mushrooms in the Unseelie Court for the Queen's entertainment until the sun sets on the Seelie Court, which it never will in the Feywild because it is always twilight. All right.
Useful irony.
Thank you, everybody. This was quite a journey. Yeah, I think it's been about 3 years for Descent into Avernus, but it's been 4 years with Kadam.
With Kadam specifically, yes.
Kadam was here at the very beginning and is here at the end. Yeah. I have a lot of really good memories of all of this. And, yeah.
I'm so glad we came back to Baldur's Gate.
Me
I
too.
am too.
As well.
and I knew it was gonna take up a lot of the stream because there's so much history with Baldur's Gate with us. So yeah. We will update you on whether we're streaming next week or not. We'll discuss and figure that out. But regardless, our next episode is planned to just be a post-mortem. We're
Send us your questions.
Yeah, if you have questions, we'll answer them. Like anything.
Anything from
yeah.
the entire 4 years.
Yeah.
For any of us.
Yeah, but I plan to be fully open about everything, spoil things, talk about things behind the scenes, how I came to decisions I did. I will answer anything. If people are just interested in like DMing stuff for how the campaign was run. Actually, as also the three of you did something that was really nice and a big surprise. There is can I share that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there is an AMA on Reddit that they started, which is really nice. Of like, we just finished the campaign. Ask us whatever you want. So if anybody watching this is interested in seeing that, just go to the Descent into Avernus subreddit. And
we can just link it.
We should link
that
it
here. We could also link it on Discord.
Yeah, we should do both those things. Yeah, so we'll post a link to that. Any last things from all of you before we close this out?
I think since Wing and Dummy survived the Baldur's Gate thing, so there's one rumor that there's a glint, there's a flash, as a very quick flying creature may have darted and grabbed Calliope and flown off into the sunset as she fell, but that's just a rumor.
I love it. I was gonna say the I feel like there's another tragic ending where Winged Dummy shows up to help you and then hits the anti-magic field.
Oh.
But I like what you said is a lot nicer.
I think Calliope ends up in Bahamut's realm somehow as like electricity.
Yeah.
It's just like a cloud, like the Genasi afterlife.
That's awesome.
I like that. Nathan?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, thank you, Nathan.
Thank you for hurting us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, thank you for hurting us.
I liked it when we got hurt and scared.
Well, it was fun.
Good. I'm glad. It should be fun for everyone.
Yeah. Which is probably more post-mortem stuff, but yeah, Claire and I had a very long, extensive conversation before we did all the like Zariel torture stuff to make sure that we knew where our boundaries were and coming up with did we have a safe word or we
were doing the stoplight system.
Stoplight system, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, banana. Anyways, okay, we should probably wrap this up. We'll see you all soon. Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.